All right, guys, I'm getting ready to go outside. Just leaving the office. Guys, I got a crazy story to tell you guys. Oh. Let me make sure I got my keys. And I do. So check it out, guys. I had a Lyft driver the other day. He was telling me a story. I think I'm not even sure if this guy's watching my page, but listen to this, guys. He had a friend that had his own construction company. And guys, I'm talking multi-million-dollar construction company. And what he was telling me about is that this dude was crushing it. He was in business for a long time, but he was crushing it. And guys, what happened was, and this is in Pennsylvania. He told me like what happened. I guess he partnered with a GC. If you guys don't know, a GC is basically like an overseer of a particular commercial project. So guys, if you got a GC, the GC pretty much tells each and every trade how they want things done. The GC is basically the boss of the job. Even though you have your own company, everybody reports to the GC. And like I said, guys, the GC is the person that ultimately pays you, on commercial projects. But guys, check this out, right? He basically said that the GC, like I said, guys, I know bits and pieces, but like I said, I can relate totally with what this guy was telling me. I don't know what the relationship was between him and the GC, but he basically said that it was a multi-million-dollar project. We're talking, like I said, millions and millions of dollars. And what the construction guy did was he started like half the job. And guys, you got to understand, I don't know, with most of you guys, I'm pretty sure you know what a line of credit is. Most of these big projects, you got to fund the cost up front out of your pockets. You're not going to get paid for most of these jobs out of your pocket. But guys, basically, the construction owner, he funded most of the job costs and the labor out of pocket. And what happened was, I don't know what happened with the GC, if the finances was funny, guys. And like I said, I don't know the contract. I can only tell you based on what the guy told me. But the guy basically said that everything seemed good up until halfway, when the contractor got halfway done and he demanded, I guess, half of the payment. That's how the job was structured. I think it was half upon like half of CAD completion, and then the other half wasn't going to be done until everything got done. But guys, make a long story short, this motherfucker he was in the hole at least $500,000 or $600,000 out of his own pocket, and the agreement was he was going to come out of pocket with the line of credit to cover the job costs until the GC paid him once everything was done. And like I said, guys, on the contractor's end, everything was done. Everything was done right. And then he noticed that the GC started acting funny about the payments, and the GC wasn't on the job site. And the guy, like I said, he took a couple of weeks. He did his due diligence, followed up with emails like, hey, everything is halfway done. I need the payment to handle, paying my guys, and I got to pay back the contract or the suppliers. I'm already $600,000 in the hole. And he never heard back from the guy, guys. And like I said, at this point, once again, you got to stay optimistic, Business doesn't always work, like I said, how you got it written up sometimes. Sometimes, like I said, you can have miscommunications. You can have, time delays. So, long story short, guys, the contractor owner, I'm talking to the construction company, he basically told his guys, wait, this motherfucker's not paying up. Let's just wait until we get some money back before we figure out what we're going to do as far as with the rest of this project. And guys, fast forward, this guy got a lease. I'm talking 3 months in, no pay. And like I said, at this point now he has to get the courts involved. Once again, guys, this is what the driver told me. But I don't know what the contract was. I don't know what was it. Like I said, I'm assuming it sounded like it was half down. Well, it was no money down. It was a contract signed, but it sounded like the guy and the GC made an agreement that they will pay once half of the job is done, and then the other half won't be due until after everything is done. But guys, the GC basically ghosted this construction owner, and like I said, he had to eat that $600,000 payment. And like I said, guys, he took him to court, and then what the GC did was the GC filed bankruptcy, and then he actually, and like I said, guys, this is some fucked up shit. Like I said, I can relate, and I'm gonna tell you in a second, what happened with us in 2016 or 2018. But basically, the GC filed for bankruptcy without letting that construction company owner know. And like I said, guys, like, he was a good guy. He did everything by the books, and like I said, that pretty much took him under. having to pay all that money back and still having to keep the lights on, guys. Like, business isn't cheap, man. Like I said, guys, like, that wasn't the first time I heard something about that, about, like I said, a very successful construction company going under like that, guys. But you have to be very mindful, especially, like I said, we do commercial maintenances here and there, but we don't do a lot of residential new construction, or we don't get into like crazy big projects like that. And like I said, guys, once again, this is a construction company. Like I said, what the Lyft driver was telling me, he actually knew the owner. Like I said, that pretty much fucked his whole life over, dude. Like, having that much money to pay back. And like I said, guys, he tried to recover by taking on another job. And like I said, ultimately, guys, within a year, they actually went under. He couldn't afford to keep the lights on. They had to file for bankruptcy. And I'm like, dude, that's really some fucked up shit. Like, having literally, guys, I'm not talking like a verbal handshake. Like, he actually had a contract stating that, hey, here's what you owe me after such and such is done. And like I said, the GC ended up ghosting them and like never paying them back. And I'm like, bro, like, that's some real, like I said, as a business owner, we're not talking, like I said, money first and job second. Like, dude, you're fronting the cost and you're working your ass off, you and your guys, to do all that and not get paid, man. That's some fucked up shit, man. And it happens every day, man, in construction. But guys, I want to tell you the story. And real quick, guys, hold on. I'm just checking the oil in advance here, so I'm multitasking. And guys, it's pretty nice out here. It's like 60 degrees outside, so try to take advantage of this good weather. But hold on, let me look at the comments real quick. Hold on, guys. Luca, Dana, Chium. Who's Dana? Jason, yeah, shit goes down, man. Family store, sending hate from Algeria. Jim Trainer, what's going on? Joel, happy Christmas. Same to you. So check this out, guys, right? Back in 2018, this was like, it was me and I had like another guy, but like I was relatively new in the business. I was just, trying to get my feet wet. And guys, for you guys that don't know, we're based in Newtown, PA, but we do a lot of work in Philadelphia as well. So like mainly anywhere in Pennsylvania for the most part, we cover. But guys, listen to this, right? This was back in 2018. I remember this job like it was yesterday, and I don't know what happened to anybody I'm getting ready to tell you, but like I said, guys, we actually could have been involved in some bullshit. But listen to this, guys, right? This is in the summertime, and I got a call about an estimate. The guy said he was a GC, and he said that, yeah, I'm looking for a HVAC company to run ductwork on the 16th floor of this office. And I'm like, okay. And he told me this over the phone. Like, this is our first time coming out there. He goes, yeah, I'm looking for an HVAC company to finish running ductwork in this office. And he was like, he gave me bits and pieces, but I'm like, okay. It sounded like everything was open already, and he just needed A, B, and C connected. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, tell you what, let's meet up and let me just go over the job, and from that point, I can give you the price, and we can go from there. Guys, listen to this shit. This ended up being, like I said, guys, I probably know the building. I don't know the name of it, but it was like right in the middle of the city. Guys, this is like a commercial / industrial building down in Center City. And it was like in the middle of a busy area right near City Hall. And guys, this GC, I got there. And like I said, guys, once again, I don't have preconceived notions. I don't care. Like I said, I have enough common sense now than I did in 2018 for sure. But guys, at that time, I took everything at face value. And I didn't have any history, or I didn't have any reason to believe that it was just a regular customer asking for a quote. But guys, I got there, and this building was freaking huge. It was like 50 floors, and like the top 20 floors were empty. So like, I got there, and it was like two guys that met me there. One of them was a GC, and I think the other guy was maybe one of the assistants to the GC. But he was like, yeah, man. So yeah, just to let you know, I just took over this building for the owner. And he was like, the other GC, the owner had to fire because of something went left with the job. And I'm like, okay. And I'm listening to him. And I'm trying to encapsulate everything that he's telling me, because he's trying to tell me like bits and pieces. And I'm like, okay. Last GC got fired, and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let me know what's here. He was like, yeah. So we have like 20 RTUs here. And he was like, this whole place got gutted. Like probably, maybe I want to say 6 months ago, less than a year. He was like, the whole place got gutted, everything was open. And then he goes that it was a massive project. And he didn't tell me who was all involved, but he was like, it was another contractor, a big company, and there was another GC involved. But guys, what he said was that there was a big miscommunication between the GC and the HVAC company. And he was like, what happened was, I guess the company started the job, but it was a big miscommunication as far as who needed to do what was a due date, and like how would that interfere with other companies. And like, guys, everything got upgraded. The electric, the drywall, basically every floor got opened up to allow more space. So like, guys, it was a very, very large area on every floor. But I don't know what it was, what the concept was before. I just knew how it looked once I got there. But everything was pretty much already sealed up. Everything was done. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm just give you the context here. He goes, yeah, the other HVAC guy, he started doing the duct work, but the other guy, the other GC, he said he had the drywall guys finish the ceiling before the HVAC guy finished the duct work. So he was like, everything now is closed up, and we can't get into. He couldn't finish the job, so the HVAC company walked off, and they never came back to finish the job. And I'm like, okay, so the guy walked off, and I'm like, okay. So I'm taking everything he's telling me, like, said up front. I'm like, okay, so, it's probably a miscommunication between two trades. I'm like, okay. And all right, so he's telling me all this, guys, while we're going to I think it was either the 15th or the 16th floor. It was like right in the middle of the building. He took me up to the roof. We seen the rooftop units. It was a couple of 460 three-phase rooftop units there. Everything was brand new. And I'm like, okay, everything is new, everything is connected. He was like, the unit is running, but it was like right in the middle of the floor. That unit, I think it was like for the 15th and the 16th floor. I don't know how many units were occupying that area, but he was like, right now, it's a shitstorm, because he was like, the building owner already started leasing the building to tenants without knowing that the heater AC works. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? He was like, yeah, there's already established businesses here. And I'm like, how the hell, why would he start bringing people in without knowing that the heat and AC is working? He was like, yeah, I mean, I just took on this property. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me more. He was like, okay, well, right now there's people inside the 15th and 16th floor. He was like, if we agree, if we accept your proposal, we can relocate them temporarily until you guys run the ductwork. And I'm like, okay. And once again, like I said, he said that right when we got to the 16th floor. And guys, man, I wish I would have took pictures of this when I got there. Guys, when I tell you, I got there, everything was, like I said, guys, I don't know what the original concept was, but they had so much shit there. Like, dude, like, I guess I thought that maybe at face value of what the guy was saying, that maybe it was just a miscommunication, but I don't know what the game plan was as far as what they wanted to do. But guys, I put my head above the ceiling tile, and someone ripped all the ductwork out of the ceiling, guys. It was like nothing there. And I had to bring the GC here. I'm like, all right, sir, let me show you something. Look on this ladder. I can see where the ductwork was, because I'm like, if you look up and look over, that's where the return was. This is where the supply was. And I'm like, I can see where it was previously, but I'm like, you said that the HVAC company actually had ductwork ran here, and the new GC, he started locking up, and he was like, yeah, well, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, at this point, if everything's finished, and like they had partial drop ceiling and everything was already closed, I'm like, at this point, without even giving you numbers, I'm like, all this shit is gonna have to get opened up, because we're gonna need space to work. So I'm like, it would have been best to attack this while the floor is still open. And I'm like, who authorized all this to be closed? And he was like, the old GC authorized to close everything up because they had to move tenants in. And I'm like, okay, you authorized people to move in, and you didn't want them to see the open ceiling, so you close everything up. But you do know that this place needs central heat and AC. And like, guys, it was in the summertime. They had portable units, and like, that shit was a fucking mess. And I'm like, I had to tell them, I'm like, all right, tell you what, sir, like, I have to think about this, but it's definitely going to be a large-scale project. But I told him I have to think about it. And like I said, guys, I called him back later on and told him that we'll pass on it. But guys, like, I never went back to that particular building. I don't know, like I said, right now, they didn't have windows on the 15th to 16th floor. So guys, when I was there, they had like freaking 20 portable units. I went there I think it was on the summer morning. It was like June or July. It was real humid outside from the day before, guys. I'm just picture what I'm telling you. It was a fucking mess. Like in the middle of the floor, no central ventilation. Like you had, I heard somebody complaining that it was hot. Oh, you got the HVAC guy here? Hopefully you can fix it, guys. This shit was a mess, man. And like I said, guys, something like that, like I said, back from 2016 to 2018. Like I said, I'm a bit, everybody tries their superhero shit sometimes, guys. That can be taking on sketchy jobs, doing jobs that that there's a chance shit can go left and you still do it anyway, guys. I used to be like that starting off, once again, because like I said, I wanted to get my feet wet, but guys, sometimes a pile of shit when you see one. You don't have to step in it sometimes and know that, hey, okay, if I take on this job, if I take on this liability, potentially, this could take us out of business. Us getting sued or us going through insurance claims, like fuck all that, guys. So like that was a prime example, guys. Like if I would have took that on and like at that time, guys, it was slow. I'm talking like in the summer because we didn't have our systems and processes. We're still getting acclimated with, like I said, what works for us, maintenance agreements. So guys, 2018, I was still taking those 2-hour drives, and I'm like, damn, I finally got a big, once again, preconceived notions, guys. I was like, damn, this would be good to take on the project this big because I'm like, maybe it's in Philly, it's close, I don't have to drive as far. But I'm like, guys, all that glitters ain't gold, man. If you take on these jobs, especially what you knowing up front that, there was some miscommunication, and now this new GC, he's technically in the same boat as me. He doesn't really know what the hell's going on. We probably won't even know what the magnitude of what was done until we open everything up. And I'm like, guys, do I want to get involved with that shit? Probably not. Hell no. Like, and maybe, like I said, if everything was still open, it would have been a better chance. But guys, like it was like at least 30 to 40 people. I'm talking like tenants, businesses on that floor. And I'm like, guys, like I can see that shit from a mile away. Like no one knows what's going on. Everybody is just like, hey, I thought this was supposed to happen, but this, like, I don't want to get involved with that. And like, guys, here's my thing. Once again, we do commercial maintenances, but like I said, most of our jobs are direct to consumer. What that means is, like I said, I like dealing with one person, particularly the person that's paying. Guys, if I had to deal with too many middlemen, now you got to deal with a possibility of miscommunication. And like, guys, I like doing things as simple as possible. Not necessarily easy. Easy sometimes it's not the most money, but like I said, guys, I don't care about the difficulty of the job. The biggest thing is I like dealing with the decision makers. So like I said, guys, I don't have to explain myself 30 times, and then now I'm not spending 8 hours of my day talking to someone that probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, and now I still have to repeat what I just told him or her. I got to repeat that to the manager or the supervisor tomorrow. And like I said, guys, to each his own. I know guys that are killing it with commercial and industrial. Like I said, hats off to them. But like I said, guys, from that one job, like I said, not all GCs are bad. And that's another thing, guys. Some GCs are cool. They work with you and they have some integrity. They're honest. They'll let you know if like, hey, your price is a little too high. We're going to have to go with a lower contractor. Whatever the case is, guys. But like I said, most of the shit, especially with commercial, you're not going to know about until it's too late. As far as if you got a GC or someone that's, like I said, willing to do the cheapest, or pretty much they're looking to hire someone just to blame them. Like that's the vibe I was getting from that guy. And I'm like, man, if I take something like this on, guys, I'm even though he told me what was going on, I'm like, it might be another pile of crap waiting around the corner that I'm not even going to know about until after we do this duct work. And I'm like, the fact that the other company did that much work and never came back, I'm like, okay, well, why didn't you bring the other company back? And like I said, guys, he didn't really give me the answer, but I'm like, yeah, the other company probably walked away because it was just too much miscommunication. And it's just like that issue that problem had nothing to do with HVAC. Maybe, like I said, whoever was in charge probably wanted to get XYZ done without actually understanding what needs to get done first. Like you have to put the things in the wall before you seal it up. You don't just you don't just finish everything up and then you have the HVAC company come in last. That doesn't make any sense. But guys, yeah, man, like I said, guys, like I actually told that story to the Lyft driver yesterday, and I'm like, man, I feel like every single residential and commercial HVAC company probably got almost went out of business story, guys. Like that shit sounded crazy, but like I said, imagine me telling you that story if you guys were there with me. You getting all this information in a matter of 30 minutes. And like I said, guys, I know a lot of companies probably would have took that job on. But guys, you got to understand, not everything that glitters is gold, you know. And like I said, that's easier said than done, because as a business, you got expenses, you got employees, you got, you know, you got to hit your marks every day to keep the lights on. But guys, taking something like that on, you have to sometimes, you know, you can't give a customer a quick answer with a job with the job of that magnitude. Sometimes you got to say, wait a minute, okay, let me look at the risk versus the reward. And I'm like, the fact that he thinks that we can get this done without opening everything up, and I'm like, I just can't see that actually happening how the GC originally planned it. So I'm like, you know, like I said, I can live to fight another day. And like I said, guys, you know, and hey, that was like what? That was in 2018, you know. And like I said, guys, we're still rocking and rolling. But guys, that's enough yapping. And this is the van. I told y'all I just got back a couple of weeks ago. The belt had to get replaced, and I had to he had to get a pulley done. Well, let me look at the comments here. Hold on. You should have upcharged to the max easier. Hey, Riz. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, like I said, guys, sometimes you got some leeway with big jobs, but like, I'm answering you, Riz, for life. That job, that shit would have been a pain in the ass, man. I can tell you right now, like I said, guys, once again, I didn't have any preconceived notions with him, but like, I knew it was probably something that he was keeping from me that I probably wouldn't know until it was already too late. So like, guys, I didn't want to get locked into something like that. And me personally, guys, I like putting everything on the table, with whether it's residential or commercial. You know, we did commercial, you know, new construction. We call that residential new construction, but like, we did residential new construction before. And luckily, like I said, the customer was involved, and like, we told him, like, hey, sir, here's where your unit's going to be. Here's what's going to be here. And like, the customer understood exactly what to expect from a unit. Sometimes, guys, it's not that simple, especially in commercial. A lot of customers that might have questions won't get them answered until everything is done, you know. It can be, hey, you know, I thought that this unit is supposed to sound like this, or I thought that, you know, it's a bunch of, like I said, tedious questions. I like having everything available up front. So like I said, guys, if I have to make changes or I have to relocate something, I'm not installing that unit 20 or 30 times or relocating it 20. Like, that's the, you know, that's the problems, like I said, that you can run across with commercial. So by me answering your question, Riz, for life, like, if I could have discharged more, you know, that would have been a simple solution. But like, I just don't want to deal with that scenario. Owner share control the job until it's released by GC. Sounds like owner was the, yeah. Alan, like I said, Alan, like, in a way, like I said, I took everything he said just off face value, but I'm like, it could have been, like I said, it's the reason why the other company left. And I didn't want to like sound disrespectful or rude, but I'm like, I really wanted to ask him, like, okay, did the other HVAC company get into it with like what actually happened? And like, he like, and it sounds like that's why the owner fired the OGC. I don't know if the OGC had control over everything that was going on. I just didn't know. And like, I just didn't. And like I said, the fact that he had tenants already in that building, I'm like, this shit is backwards as hell, you know? So, but yeah, guys. But I'm just out here checking the oil fluids. I got like I was telling you guys, this is a second install van. I got to get this van wrapped, but I got to put another battery in here. I think a couple of live videos back, I put this battery in, but I got to put another one in that white one. But like I said, guys, sometimes I'm a victim of procrastination. I try to get to this shit when I can, but like I said, once the schedule gets crazy, I know I got to do that compressor. That's on the 6th. That's not next week. That's the week after New Year's. But I know next week, guys, I'm not sure if you looked at the schedule too. The schedule in Pennsylvania next week, during the day, it's like going to be in the 40s and 50s. And guys, 40s and 50s sounds like 90 degrees to me, especially after them single digit days. But at this point, guys, like I said, I don't know what to expect if we're going to get another cold snap. But any calls we get throughout the next week, I'll definitely vlog a few of them and we'll get this squared away. But guys, check this out. I want to show you guys something here. And by the way, I'm a GMC guy. I'm rocking with GMCs. This is a Ford F-150, but like our work vans, I roll with GMC. But guys, one thing with these GMC Savannahs is that the power steering pump, well, not the power steering pump, the cylinders, these things leak like crazy. Like I had, which one I had? I had to get this one replaced. So this pump, this unit was this. Well, I said this unit. This van. Remember the belt snap? We had to get the belt replaced, the power steering pulley, and this reservoir was leaking. We had to get this reservoir replaced. So, guys, I think what happens, and I made this mistake too. When you fill these up, I always overfilled it, and I didn't know I was doing this. I just filled it up to the top when it should have been 3/4. But what my mechanic was telling me, if you overfill it, eventually this thing gets hot, and like I said, it starts leaking. But guys, the more, if you stay around this long enough, you'll just know small things. But this van currently isn't leaking, but this is the one I probably have to get looked at some point in the future. I'm talking in regards to the power steering thing. I got to get that looked at. But like I said, guys, most of the shit you take day by day. You can't attack everything at once. We only got 24 hours in a day, but you start chipping away at it day by day. And guys, there's another company that did our van wraps. I just spoke with someone the other day from there. Let me show you. I think we got a bundle deal. Like if you do one, I think it was like $3,500, I believe. And this one was cheaper because this is a pickup truck, but I got 3 done at a time. Got the one on the further end, which is the older van. I think I got 3 done at a time, and I got this one done later. So I think it was at that time, guys, this is like, 4 years ago? It was like $3,500. I know right now, guys, if you had to get a van wrap done, and once again, this is a GMC Savannah 25. This is a $3,500. This one to wrap front, back, sides, the whole 9 yards was $35. But guys, I go to Slicks Graphics in Mooresville. And by the way, that name is Slicks Graphics. They're still around. Like I said, I know the guy, one of the guys that works there. But like I said, I might go to him again to get this one done. And like I said, guys, I know some companies, like I said, especially if you're on a budget, you might have to start, like I said, start how you start. But I'd rather just wrap them all at once so I ain't got to come back. But as far as the shelf life, guys, once again, we're in Pennsylvania. Like, I know we get rain, snow, and we get 90-degree weather. These wraps are durable. Now, guys, I'm a victim of not washing these trucks as much as I should. And like I said, it is what it is. But like I said, as far as shelf life on these wraps, and I had a tire blow here, and that kind of messed up the wraps. But as far as shelf life, I actually don't know what the guy told me. I think he said it was like 5 or 6 years, give or take, before it starts to peel. But yeah, guys, for sure, you wanna definitely go to Slicks Graphics if you guys are in the area. I don't know too many wrapping companies in Philly. Like I said, I go to who we know and the guys that take care of us. But definitely, guys, if you need your van wraps or any detail work done, definitely hit them up. Slicks Graphics in Mooresville, PA, and they'll get you right. But guys, I gotta get up out of here. I already checked 1, 2. I gotta get my rag and I gotta check the 3rd one. But yeah, guys, for sure. Tim, what's up? What's going on, man? Yeah, guys, but for sure, man. Like I said, what the guy was telling me with these construction companies, man, like you have to deal with these GCs, but it's just sometimes you don't know who's who until it's too late, man. That's the fucked up part about it. You could overcharge sometimes. But guys, at the end of the day, and this is the fucked up part about it. Maybe you guys can self-correct me on this. If you sign a contract with someone, they should honor the contract. Think about that. If you sign a contract with me, right, that I'm supposed to pay you $1 million, and then now once it's time for me to pay you, I file for bankruptcy and change my company name, then what's the point of signing the contract? And like I said, that's how I look at it. I thought if you sign a contract, then you're obligated to fulfill the duties of the contract. But guys, like I said, with these loopholes, that's where things get kind of tricky, man, with these large scale contracts, man. But like I said, the guy from lyft, man, I don't even know if the construction guy started another company, but like I said, he definitely took a large hit, man, for that particular project, man. And I'm like, I feel like that's a common occurrence, man. But best thing you can do is, like I said, do your due diligence on your end. Whatever you tell a customer you can do, make sure you do. But for damn sure, you gotta have a third eye. You gotta make sure, like I said, if something sounds too good to be true, or if something is like giving you a red flag, then there's nothing wrong with walking away. I said this before. Sometimes you gotta say no to some jobs. And that's a decision only you can make. Someone can tell you over the phone, hey, what's the repercussions of trying to run a gas line through XYZ? Like, sometimes you gotta make that decision, man. But like I said, don't get caught up trying to be Superman, trying to take on these damn jobs, and now you bankrupt. Fuck all that. But guys, I gotta get up out of here. But once again, it's nice to sell out here. Try to take advantage of this good weather on a Sunday. Is there a lot of money in HVAC, Apex? Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're focused in. Like I said, you got residential, you got refrigeration, you got commercial. If you like dealing with GCs, say nah. But like, you got commercial, you got industrial. It's a lot of ways. It's a lot of ways around it. But like I said this before, Apex. Whatever you do, just stick with it long term. Some guys can get lucky. Like I said, if you got a relative or someone, that can get you in a company, that may be a cheat cut, a shortcut. But guys, what you got to understand is this: like, you're gonna have to take, like I said, you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot up front to get what you need on the back end. Like I said, I tell guys, expect your first 1 or 2 jobs in HVAC not to really be what you expect. But guys, you got to understand, like, what you're there for is you're there for the experience. You got to see, assuming you go to school for this Apex, you go to school for HVAC, and then your reward is actually being around it. Your reward is not going to be the money up front. And like I said, guys, I know that's easier said than done. I started when I was 18, 19 at HVAC. That might not be the same scenario for a guy that's like 30. And like I said, guys, I don't discriminate. There's guys that I went to school with that's like 30, 35 in HVAC, in school for HVAC, and they're still in the trade. So like, there's no age limit on it. But like I said, guys, I always tell you, I said this in previous videos, you're gonna have to sacrifice something up front. Don't wait too late to sacrifice, because like I said, that's how you treat yourself. And like I said, you need to see this. Everything I'm telling you, or everything you've seen, you gotta constantly be around it, and you can't get that unless you sacrifice something for it. It might be time, it may be money, but like I said, that's how you get experience. You don't really get experience from just being a book nerd. Most of the people that I think I was reading something the other day. You know what it said? Those that can do it, do it. Those that can't, teach it. Like I said, the only thing I do is I do this shit every day. I'm not, me personally, I don't feel like I'm teaching anybody anything. I'm just recording what I do. And like, what you take from it is what you take from it. But like I said, if I just remain the book nerd, once you start talking about controls and relays, and like I said, I probably won't even know what the hell you're talking about when it gets time to fix it. But you always want to have some book knowledge, but you got to be able to see it and apply it as well. So you got to make sure you can swing both ends. Understand what you're doing and how it works, but understand also how to fix it and troubleshoot it as well. You got to work for what you want, big. Yep, that's for sure, man. That's for sure. HVAC ain't going nowhere. I mean, like I said, I try not to discourage people, but I got to give you guys the real deal. This shit ain't going anywhere, and like I said, HVAC isn't for everybody. I'm not out to make this a glorious profession and tell you that you're going to be riding around in, like I said, $500,000 cars every day. Hell no. Most of what you do is going to be a sacrifice. And sometimes, guys, the sacrifice doesn't end within 2 years. You're going to be sacrificing your whole life for things you want, not just HVAC, But like I said, a lot of people wait too late to sacrifice, Why wait 10 years to do something and then you start sacrificing? Now, by that time, your body gives out, and like now, God forbid, life goes on, You're going to have shit you're going to have to deal with. It could be a family emergency. It could be kids. Like, you have to understand, the earlier you can get into something, the better off you'll be. Been in HVAC since 2019. Yeah, that's how it is, man. Like I said, I was telling someone this the other day, right? Because I met someone at a supply house. I think he sees my page. He was like, yeah, I see you on YouTube, yada yada. I'm like, yeah, man, I bullshit on there and I just talk, what I know. And like I said, some people watch it. I appreciate him. He was like, I forgot who he was talking about. I think he was talking about something with gas valves. But guys, like, the point is, I'll tell you like this, man. And like I said, guys, I don't discriminate. It is what it is, man. I can only tell you from my limited perspective, like I said, I've been in it now 11 years, and like I said, guys, I've seen a bunch of crazy things, and most of the shit is entertainment, you know, like it's just, I've seen, like I said, you know, guys do things that you shouldn't do and it worked, and I've seen guys that, you know, rig shit up that you shouldn't do, and it hurt them. But like I said, guys, I'll tell you like this, man. Me personally, this is what makes my situation probably different than, like I said, other people. You know, I look at this whole HVAC career, and like I said, guys, I'm still in it. I'm not on some island right now. Like I said, I love what I do. This shit is not fucking work. And I told you guys this. I can do this shit 7 days a week, and like I said, you know, I'm talking like as a business. Like I said, I'm charging more than what I pay, so I'm not doing this shit for free. But the point is, guys, this shit isn't work. And like I said, I couldn't tell you this about any other profession, but the point is, guys, I'm a process type of guy. Like, the shit I'm telling you, it's not glorious, and that's why, you know, if you know, compared to other situations, like I said, I can't sum this up to make it sound like, yeah, like in 2 years, like you're gonna be like, hell no. I always tell people, like, if you can withstand your worst case scenario, you're good. And like, that's how I base my life off of, guys. If I can hustle and I can withstand my worst case scenario, then like I said, anything that happens past that point, it's going to be better than what's going on, guys. If all I'm doing now is sacrificing hypothetically for 2-3 years learning HVAC, okay. Before you know it, now, like, guess what? Now I can do maintenances, and now I can do service. And like I said, guys, like, and like I said, I tell all my guys this: experience works when you're not thinking about it. And like, I'm gonna give you a scenario. I can be, like I said, a helper right now, not knowing anything, you know, to help. And like I said, I could get discouraged because the boss might only send me to the truck to get a tool, while I'm trying to watch him replace the gas valve. I'm trying to watch him replace the igniter. And like I said, I could get discouraged because I want to see him do X, Y, Z. But he's telling me, yeah, just don't worry about that right now. Go to the truck and get a screwdriver so I can do this. And like I said, guys, mentality. Remember, mentality is everything. If you fight through that, and like I said, you just stick around long enough, and like you pay attention to what's going on. You're not on a job site on your phone, and you're not worried about what you're gonna do on Saturday when you and your whoever the boss, or you and the experienced helper, your lead tech, or they're doing the job. Stay in the mindset of the job. You gotta stay focused. And I'll put that in another video too. I think it was the 3 things I'll tell myself if I was in my 20s. You gotta stay focused. And like, once again, guys, being focused, it's a sacrifice that comes with that. No one can put a gun to your head and tell you to be focused. You gotta already have that innate ability in you to be focused. And like I said, guys, you know, once you wait too long to be focused, now it's not, like I said, not to sound negative, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Once you take too long to be focused, like now you got other things you got to deal with, because life naturally moves on. You're not going to have the same, you know, you're not going to have the same circumstance as a 20-year-old man as you will in your 30s. That's just, you know, life evolves. You know, shit, people move on, but you just have to, you know, out the gate, if you don't have that in you, man, just to stay focused, you're going to find yourself distracted, worried about the wrong thing. Like I said, guys, you know, it is what it is. I can only tell you because that's what I always thought when I was growing up. But like I said, as I got older, I realized, you know, that shit really works. You know, staying focused. You know, hey, some people might call you selfish, some people might blah, 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 but I don't give a shit about other people's opinions, especially not when it pertains to what I want to do, especially if I know I'm sacrificing. You know, you got to stay down until, like I said, you get to that level. And then guess what? As soon as you get to that level, the cycle goes over again. Now, okay, I got from 0 to 100. Now, how can I get to 150? Now, guess what? If I need some type of advice of getting from 100 to 150, I got a level that I already came from. I'm not doing this shit from the dirt. I already knew, hey, this is what worked for me. Now, like I said, guys, it's a different ball game. You still gotta work, but like I said, guys, and like I said, I'm gonna leave you guys with this because I don't want to go off on a tangent here. Someone told me it's hard to go from 0 to 1, but it's easy to go from 1 to 2. I'll repeat that. It's hard to go from 0 to 1, but it's easy to go from 1 to 2. Meaning if you already had a base level of how this shit works and you already did it, now you have something to focus on. I'm not saying that's gonna work. What got you from 0 to 1 may not get you from 1 to 2, but guys, that momentum, whatever you built getting from 0 to 1, that's something you can work off of that's easier than going from 0 to 2. Because a lot of people, unless they're trying to sell you some bullshit course, you can't go from 0 to 2 without some negative repercussions, you know? Because there's lessons, there's values, there's shit that you got, there's some things you gotta learn from going from 0 to 1 that you're probably not going, that you need to know at level 2. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't know about financial literacy, someone can give you $100,000 right now, guys, and you're probably gonna be in fucking debt. Or probably like, think about that. That's why lottery winners be killing themselves and being drug addicts. Because look, if we're not used to that level of money, if you don't have that understanding, then look, that's what it's about. So But guys, I can talk this shit all day. Side hustle. Yeah, man, for sure. But guys, it's already been 40 minutes. I'll do more of these GMC Talks. Hopefully we get more 60-degree days and it's not 20 degrees outside, but I gotta get my rag and I gotta check these oil levels. I already had these vans running out for 20 minutes. But all right, guys, be on the lookout for more content. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.